Oh, David, look at the time. I believe it's the Chainsaw Minute.
I'm David, and this is your dose of Chainsaw Man. You can join us every Friday where we see what masterpiece Fujimoto put out.
I'm Jordan, and if you're looking for regular Shonen Flop goodness, you can find our next episode for our full thoughts on Champagne, featuring Oni Dino on Monday.
That was a great episode. What an awesome dude.
Oh, that was so much fun.
And just a reminder, these recordings are open to everyone, so listen and chat along with us on the Shonen Flop Discord every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time when there's a new chapter out. Find a link to it in the show notes or on our site. And Jordan, what was your devil this week?
Ugh, the health devil, David. I have felt like shit for the past week.
Oh, no.
I had a medication screw up where my meds, I went on them and they were having like a weird, horrible effect. So
I keep telling you don't need to take those Hansen pills.
It's a problem, David. I wish I could trust you more on that, but like I just know I look in the mirror and I'm like, I could be handsomer.
No, impossible.
Even though it's not possible. But in addition to that, right as I was getting that sorted out, I also got sick. That fucking sucks.
Well, I am very sorry to hear that, my friend.
Yeah. What about you, David?
Diet devil, I've been eating like shit. Gotta get back in shape. So started my diet again on Monday, and well, hopefully this one sticks. It's just so hard when you're on vacation to actually eat properly.
Oh, I know. You got to give yourself a break for that, you know? Like, it is vacation.
But enough about that. Jordan, let's hear the plot summary for...
Chapter 126, Food Fight.
Trey, thank you so much for providing that shout out. And also, once again, thank you so much for that awesome opening theme.
David, you ever see that movie Food Fight?
I know. I've seen the videos about the movie Food Fight.
Yeah, same. I haven't actually seen the whole movie. What a shitty movie. Anyway, this is not the movie. Here's the plot summary for the Chainsaw Man chapter.
What if they made a movie of your plot summary?
Oh, well, when they adapt it, they will. Denji is slicing the shit out of the falling devil, but she keeps pulling herself back together. She tries to get him to stop, saying that she won't kill anyone else, except for Aza. She was given the job to feed Aza to the residents of hell, and then she'll be done. Oh, that's it. Denji is delighted because now he has an excuse to kill her. Aza is, after all, his ex-potential girlfriend. Excellent line. The falling devil puts a finger on Denji's face and gives him triggering flashbacks to Gun Devil Aki and power with the birthday cake. And he just starts to fall into the sky. The falling devil gets up and starts to search for Asa again. But then Denji slices her apart. Popcorn, David.
Denji's strategy to fight demons with mental attacks is to cut his own brain apart with his chainsaw.
Fantastic. Genius strategy.
400 IQ to make him 0 IQ. This leads to Dennis, now temporarily brain damaged, believing that the falling devil is a French corn dog he must eat. She allows him to eat her before reforming and bursting out of his stomach. Oh, it's like poetry, Jordan. It rhymes, where he did the same thing last chapter.
That's poetry, yeah.
As Dennis lies disemboweled on the ground, a figure that might be Yoshida appears to give him some of his blood and revive him. Meanwhile, the falling devil searches around town until at last finding Asa. So, Jordan, I think that's a great segue because I was wondering who that person is. I saw a lot of theories about it, and I agree Yoshida was the first person I thought of, but it's like, why would they hide Yoshida's face?
Initially, I was going to write who's definitely not Yoshida, and then it was probably Yoshida, and then now it might be, because the more I think about it, as you said, it's like, why would they
Jordan's hitting the 3 stages of Yoshida right now.
Yeah, I'm hitting all 3 stages, because it is like, why would they hide his face? That's like the obvious person to show up and do that, you know? It's like, it feels like it's a twist, and the twist is not Yoshida.
Yeah.
But I kept that in because it seems to be Yoshida when he first shows up.
His ex-potential Yoshida.
Do you think it's the fake Chainsaw Man?
I think it was Haruka, the school president guy, I think is a good candidate. Oh. But the problem is, since Fujimoto is so terrible at drawing shoes, you can't use the shoes as a clue.
The thing about Haruka is that he was already kind of a red herring to be the fake Chainsaw Man.
Fake Saw Man.
Like, that's definitely a possibility, but I feel like it's going to be somebody more plot relevant, for lack of a better term. Like, I don't know, if it was just like Haruka. I mean, I'm open to it being good, but just hearing about it now, I'm like, oh, that's not so interesting. But I don't know. It's Fujimoto. I'm excited for the next time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's ever been right about anything Fujimoto does, because it's like, oh, he'll do this. And like, no, Denji is just going to lobotomize himself so he doesn't think so hard, so it doesn't work.
That's one of my favorite things already in like part 2.
And so the fact that he can use his chainsaws as whips, and he could have just tied himself to the ground using that.
No, this is better. This is like so much better.
I also was thinking last week, you know how she puts that like old shopkeeper on the ceiling?
Yeah.
That lady's gonna just fall and die once the falling devil leaves. I just was thinking about that after we recorded.
Well, you know, David, it's interesting. You brought up last week how, like, oh, there's some kind of weird disconnect between how she's like, oh, I'm not going to kill anyone else. And then she just takes people's eyes and ears. And she does that again, but it's like closer. It's more clear that, like, this is intentional. There is some disconnect with her where she doesn't recognize that she's hurting the people or she is lying. But because it does seem like, I'm not going to hurt anybody else. I'm just going to kill Asa.
I think devils, like, as we see with Makima, very high-level devils, really just live in their own world to the degree where they genuinely think what they're doing is the right thing. Like, Makima definitely thinks that her approach is the best approach for society, despite, obviously, the real flaws that pretty much any actual person would see with her plan.
Yeah. Or it's like, maybe it's the best move for her regardless of society.
Because we live in a society.
We do live in a society.
It is cool, though, how Denji has been affected by mental attacks to the point where he actually had this pre-planned, which is probably from Makima. So it's really cool to see how Denji has kind of evolved his skill set after dealing with everyone in part 1.
Yeah. I also like how, like, it makes sense that those are the two harshest, like, traumatic memories that Denji has, like Power getting killed. And by the way, I love how they showed Power getting killed and it was just her standing there with the birthday cake. And it doesn't say it, but you know.
Yeah, it's all you need to know.
You know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Ugh.
Oh, I feel so bad for Power.
Also, we really see how Denji even now still gets his dick absolutely kicked in by a primordial, which shows just how powerful they are.
Denji's putting up a great fight, but, like, she wins this battle.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
There's no doubt. I mean, I do love how he's trying to eat her, and she's like, I am not a corn dog.
She did let him eat her a little bit as a treat.
Yeah, well, because she could chest burst him like Alien, yeah. While he's eating her as a corn dog, I also love how the Falling Devil is holding her head in her palm, just really casually.
Yeah.
God, I think she has a great design.
I think so too. It's interesting how humanoid she is despite being primordial, while the Darkness Devil was really just this eldritch being.
She's humanoid, but also, like, in an abstract way.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting.
Imagine if it's the Deaf Devil that is also a high school student, and that's the person.
Also, we learn that she's feeding people to the denizens of hell.
It's true.
That's something. Yeah.
Yummy, yummy. And then, Jordan, is there anything else you want to bring up about this chapter?
No, I think we did everything. There's a lot.
Oh, also, Denji's hand looks like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle hand if you look at it in certain panels, because he only has 2 fingers sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
That was really my biggest big brain takeaway from this chapter. Well then, Jordan, I guess all that's left for me to say is thank you so much for all of your hard work on the show.
Thank you so much for all the hard work that you do on the show, David.
And you can find us on Twitter at Shonen Flopcast and our website, shonenflop.com. We're also on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, wherever else you get your podcast. Props to Shannon for awesome cover art. Find her online at illuminyatea. As a reminder, you can join us recording every Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time when there's a new chapter. Find a link to it in the show notes or on our site. And a big thank you to Tre for providing our opening theme and our audio shout out. You can find them at Tre Watson Music. And stay tuned for Monday as we give our full thoughts on Champagne featuring Onidino.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening today. We'll catch you next whenever the fuck. And with that, David, I gotta say, unfortunately, I'm looking at the clock and the chainsaw minute has passed. Oh, bye.